Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Hey, listen, I'm going to give you a video in regards to this coming from the perspective of an actual business owner when you're trying to determine if you want to hire independent contractor or should you hire more employees. We're going to break down the differences between the two, give you some pros and cons, and help give you some deciding factors to decide if you want to get a hire independent contractor or get more employees for your company. Okay. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We'll be talking about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Got over 300 videos on the YouTube channel. Got a grant playlist with over 150 videos currently on there covering business, finance, business management, business operation. Either way, to stay updated with the great information we currently have on the channel and all the great information we have coming down the pipe, hit that dollar sign in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell to get a notification each time we upload a new video. Now, going back to our video, what we're talking about today is independent contractors versus employee. Okay, so ask yourself first, what is an independent contractor? Independent contractor is somebody that does not work for the business. As simple as that. Taxes not withheld for independent contractor, okay? We're going to go a little bit more in depth with it, but those are just two basic things. They don't work for the company. Somebody company hired, and they're not getting the taxes taken out, okay? When you look at it, just hearing the question, what's the 1099 contract? 1099 contract is the same thing as an independent contractor, right? The term 1099 just refers to the actual IRS form that independent contractor will have to get at the end of the year. A quick rule of thumb is that independent contractor that's paid more than $600 during a calendar year has to be issued a 1099 for that particular tax year. Some basic examples of independent contractors. You got accountants, building contractors, painters, designers, landscapers. So you got to ask yourself, what is the difference between a 1099 contractor and an employee? So we're going to go through a couple things. A 1099 contractors are part of a contingent workforce, right? You got freelancers, consultant, outsourced, and non-permanent workers. We say what's a contingent workforce? That means they're just out there as needed, as available to do it, as opposed to you continuously have them working in your particular business. They're out there just in case whenever you needed one, just the time arises, you can actually get them, okay? What's the difference between, now again, we're going back to that, these are members of the group on a per project basis, unlike employees. Employees also have a degree of control over their work, but not the method it's done. Employees must follow directions. Independent contractors are responsible. Independent contractors are responsible also for the work that they had to get done, for the method rather. One key thing, guys, because not to get it confused, you have like temporary workers or day labor people. Those are still considered kind of a temporary worker can be considered an employee depending on how you hire them, but more so you may be contracting out with the actual agency. So they may necessarily work, they may work for you under the guidelines that your company has them working, right? They're working on the guidelines your company has them working, but you're not paying that temporary person and you're not paying that day labor person. You're paying the agency as a contractor to furnish your employee. That's kind of like a funny little gray area, because even though, again, their contracts, like we said, employees have no control over the actual direction they have to go. They have to follow the directions that are given to them by their employer. An independent contractor just told to paint, provide your own equipment, do certain things, you get the task done. An employee has everything provided to them. Same thing, like I said, again, we start talking about temporary workers and day workers. You're contracting with a company to bring people in. Even though you may give them your instructions, you're not going to take taxes out. That particular agency is going to take care of that for you, okay? Some other things to look at: independent contractors are responsible for equipment, materials, and tools. And employees, they're furnished and all those things are given to them. Employees receive benefits such as healthcare insurance, 401k, and vacation. Independent contractors don't receive these from any project that they perform, okay? Is it better to hire an employee or a 1099 contractor? Okay, we got several factors that we're going to look at, okay? Number one being costs, benefits, workers' compensation, payroll, taxes. When we look at just the cost, when we just kind of look at it from this perspective, like I just brought the example in regards to the staffing companies or day labor agencies. In the grand scheme of things, you may pay a little bit more for an independent contractor than you would actually hiring an employee at that particular time. But overall, you might just only need that independent contractor for maybe a couple of weeks just to get a certain project done, help you through a certain season, Christmas holidays. You may have a peak season as far as your sales and stuff like that. Tax time, end of the month audit, end of the quarter audits, end of the year audits, those kind of things. So in the grand scheme of things, you just may have to have a person at a certain particular time, but you don't have to have the cost incurred of having them there as a continuous employee. Same thing we look at for benefits. You're not a hook with paying, pay time off, vacation days, things like that. You don't have to worry about those certain things with just a contractor. Again, there's a need for it because you need them per job, on a per item basis when as needed. Same thing we look at workers' compensation insurance, that's not needed. Payroll taxes, again, they're not working for you. So they actually just paying a certain amount that they need per that job, per that project, and get it done. Again, you may pay a contractor $20 an hour, whereas you have an employee that you're paying them only $15 an hour or $10 an hour. But keep in mind, they're more specialized in what they're doing, so you don't necessarily need them continuously just to get. You just only need to get them through a certain project or through a certain period of time. Other facts considered, like we said before, expertise, flexibility, outsourced tasks can be less expensive. Like we say, expertise, you can actually get a particular a person that is very, very particular auditor or particular lawyer that may be well versed or expert in a certain field that you may already have people that work there, but they're not as knowledgeable as this person. And you don't need that expertise, just take care of certain tasks, deal with a certain case, deal with a certain situation. Flexibility, you can bring them in as needed. They can come in, report once a month, once a quarter, twice a year, however you need them to be, whatever, you guys set those parameters before you hiring that contractor. Again, it's outsourced tasks. You're not, you don't have to worry about, keeping continuous education with your current employees. You can just, not that you don't want them to grow and develop, but you're not worried about continuously have to teach them new tasks. If a certain task arises, you can just get one time, get that particular person there, and you're covered from that perspective with doing that again. And then the last thing, we look at can be least expensive. Even though I brought up again, it may cost you, an independent contractor may cost more than your actual employees, but in the grand scheme of things, it'll be much cheaper to deal with the independent contractor because of the longevity, the time frame you're going to have them, and also you don't have to deal with also the additional benefits as far as insurance, payroll taxes, and stuff that will be associated with an employee. Especially if you have an independent contractor that has a certain skill set. How independent contractors paid, again, that can vary. You can do an hourly rate, flat rate for the job, or even just by the job, okay? Typically what happens, you guys agree to the terms in regards to, how much you're going to pay them, what the job is, how long it's going to be. You sign a contract, and then you make sure that you have a W-9 for the independent contractor. I don't think the W-9 is just stating that this is their company name, that's their tax ID number. So if you do come and their address, so come at year end, you paid them over $600, you need to issue a 1099 form. You already have the W-9 on file, so you already have the information we're doing. It's just a validation point for you to have in regard to hold on records for you to be able to issue out the 1099, okay? So you ask the question, sometimes a person may be wondering, am I an independent contractor? Basically, the easy way to look at it, if you are paid to perform work for a business that you are not employed by, then yes, you're basically a independent contractor. It's not to really overthink. I think sometimes people, because they may be in a situation where they don't necessarily want to be stuck paying payroll taxes, they'll issue out 1099 to people, but it's a very slippery slope with that. Remember, basically, if you're telling a person to do a job and they're going about it the way they want to go about it, they're providing their own equipment, providing the people and things like that, you're just paying them to take care of that task. That's an independent contractor. But if you're actually providing all the equipment, tell them exactly how to do it, give them guidance, time frames, things like that, they're more like your employee. You'll be very, very, very careful with that, because at the end of the day, the federal government, a lot of your labor forces, be the Department of Labor, local state governments, things like that. They look at these things and audit these things. You can get yourself in a world of trouble trying to cut corners. And the money that you think that you're saving or avoiding by not paying payroll taxes can really bite you in the butt after those fines and stuff. In addition to that, with those fines for not properly having people listed as employees. Okay, that's very, very, very important. But again, when you start looking at, do I need to hire an independent contractor or hire more people? Keep in mind, again, how long the task is going to be, how specialized the task is going to be. It's something going to be reoccurring. If it's not going to be happening every now and then. These are things to keep in mind in regards to if you're going to hire independent contractor. Does your people that work there, are they versed enough for doing this particular task or project to justify if you're going to train them, or just get a person in just going to do, they're only going to do something that requires something for once a month? Okay, all those kind of things got to weigh in with you being a business owner and your decision making, and determine if you need to hire an independent contractor or just hire more employees. Okay, staying on track. If you got independent contractors, make sure that you consult, with an accountant or prepare. I'm always telling you guys, make sure you get the right people in place. You make sure you're keeping proper records, and also you file those actual returns, those actual tax returns, your 1099, 1096. Make sure you stay on top of that stuff, when you're dealing with contractors. Okay. And just to wrap everything up, again, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dot himself. Like I said, again, hit that dollar sign in the bottom right-hand corner, subscribe to the channel. Over 300 videos on the YouTube channel. A lot of great information, again, covering personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Make sure you hit the dollar sign, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell to get notification each time we upload a new video. I hope you enjoyed my explanation between the difference of hiring an independent contractor versus an employee. Take care of yourself, guys, and be safe.